Do you have any children? I hope not. Welcome back, everybody, to the Dead Film Critics Society podcast. As always, I am here with Aiden from GOD Reviews. Also
Hey,
has a YouTube channel, which you can
now,
check out
yeah,
in his Space Jam review, greatest review of the decade. For the greatest movie of the decade, of course.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I guess we'll start with news because we're doing that every week since we're only doing it once a week, and we do news. Did not news once a week, and now we do an episode once a week, so we do news every time now.
hmm
And you said you got something big you want to share,
yes.
right?
Okay, so it's one of the things. So, do you remember that Amazon Lord of the Rings series that was announced
Yeah.
that they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
So the release date has been announced for that. It's going to be September 2nd, 2022. And I'm just going to show you this image that I got from Fandom. Thank you, Fandom. Please don't get upset for using your stuff, but here, this is I
It's
believe
not
this is
theirs,
Minas.
to be fair. Okay, well,
I think that looks
that's.
pretty damn good. It's breathtaking, actually. Damn, this could be good.
I mean, it'll probably.
I'm starting to get a bit excited, you know. So
I mean, yeah, I mean, when you throw enough money into it, it should look good. I don't know. It's the story and the direction and all that I'm more worried. I'm not worried about
what
its
exactly is it? Is it like a
production.
prequel? Is it a prequel series or is it a sequel series? What is it?
I don't even know, to be fair. I really don't know.
Hmm.
So, I guess we'll find that out when we find that out.
Hmm.
Um, I have a few things.
Yep.
Bob Odenkirk, I don't know if you heard about his incident, but he had a
I did,
heart-related
unfortunately. Yeah, that's
incident
terrible.
on the set of Better Call Saul. But he is stable. He'll be okay. But it's unfortunate to know that this happened to him. Also, obviously it should be, we always focus on making sure the person's okay. At
Hmm.
the same time, the selfish part of me is like, does this mean that Better Call Saul is going to get delayed? In that case, I'm sad. But obviously, it's about making sure Bob Odenkirk's healthy enough
Yeah.
to do the show. But of course, there's that part of me. It's just like, give me Better Call season 6. I don't give a fuck. Just give
Yeah.
it to me. But I hope he's okay. Because obviously he's what makes the show, and without him, obviously, the show wouldn't be what it is. So
Yep.
so he definitely needs to get
You gonna
better.
call Saul's
Both.
brother Kevin? Can't call his brother. That's not good. Hmm.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Do you have any more news?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure you probably heard about the dispute going on between
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson and Disney
Mm-hmm.
at the moment, and I would like to get your thoughts on that. Like, do you think Disney is, in the wrong here? Do you think Scarlett Johansson's in the wrong? Like, what are your thoughts on this
Disney
whole
definitely
situation?
looks to be in the wrong based on what I
Yeah.
know. Basically, it's just Marvel wanted the theater exclusive, especially because Scarlett Johansson's contract was based on getting bonuses off the theater um, receipts. She get a certain percentage of whatever it made.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it made less due to the pandemic. I'm sure she knew that was just going to be inevitability. But then, of course, because it went to Disney Plus, she didn't get any bonuses from whatever it made on Disney Plus, which is
Mm.
obviously better for Disney, but that kind of scams her out of a certain amount of money. Again, I wouldn't like obviously, even though it is sort of big guy versus little guy, because obviously Scarlett Johansson's only so much versus the entire corporation of Disney. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, we're talking about two very rich entities compared to the rest of the average, even Western world, let alone
Yeah.
the rest of the entire world. So in the long run, it doesn't matter too much. Obviously, like this might set a precedent for like how these situations with Marvel's big stars and how their
Yeah.
contracts relate to the movies might change because I'm
That's
assuming
what
over
you
this Scarlett Johansson might be a little more reluctant to work with Disney
Yeah.
again. Probably I like obviously her character in Marvel is gone, so she doesn't really unless there's for some reason they need to bring her back for a certain role in something that involves Black Widow.
Mm.
We won't probably be seeing her again, and then through this we can probably not expect her seeing her in any other Disney projects. Like she wouldn't be in like a Jungle Cruise or anything, which is one of the films we're talking about today.
Yep. I have a lot to say about that film, so we'll save it for that. But I mean, I gotta tell you, dude, I think that Disney's being like really childish here, and they're trying to basically paint Scarlett Johansson as somebody who's insensitive to the pandemic, which is absolutely ridiculous.
That's just not true. It's just because they
No,
put it
it's
to
not.
Disney Plus. It's like You
Yeah.
could have just done theater only and then released it on Disney Plus afterwards. Like even if you did like a better deal, as in like a shortened theatrical window, and then put it on Disney Plus, like for
Mm.
like a month, that would have
Yeah,
been better. But
exactly.
it was day to day, right? So that definitely affected her, contract and like
Yeah, and I mean, like, given this is her first solo film, I can understand why she would feel a bit slighted
yeah,
there, right?
it's like yeah,
Yeah.
like okay, if people don't feel safe going to theater, they can wait a little bit because if they like, I guess it's a little bit like obviously if someone's like a Marvel diehard, but at the same time they don't trust the safety of theaters, which in my opinion is a little bit dumb because theaters are frankly some of the more safer places in the world for during the
Yeah.
pandemic. They haven't. I'm pretty sure before everything's
Yeah.
kind of opened up, there wasn't any cases linked to it. I still don't think there are any. But obviously, regardless, people want to stay safe. But at the same time, it's like, that's everyone else's personal decision. It wasn't like keeping Black Widow at Disney Plus was a pandemic decision purely. It
Yeah.
was definitely much more motivated by making Disney Plus more appealing to people who are streaming stuff at home, especially for kids.
Yeah. No, I agree
So
there. I mean, yeah, it was definitely a stupid move. I don't understand like why they would do this to her. I mean, like she's been with Marvel since 2010. You know, like she's made countless movies with them. Like she's shown like considerable amount of loyalty, and she's become a big part of their brand. So I don't understand why the hell they would just
yeah,
like cross her like that. It doesn't seem like a very smart move at all.
at the very least, I think this will be a lesson to Disney to like, because obviously this doesn't look great on Disney. I'm sure they're going to try to avoid a situation like this, at least in the first place. They're probably still going to win because they're probably going to whip out all the lawyers out the wazoo. There might be at least a
Yeah.
settle. There'll probably be a settlement. I'd have to assume because I do think
Oh, yeah.
ScarJo definitely has some merit.
Yeah,
But
it definitely
we'll
does.
have to
Yeah.
see. Someone
Free my
threw
homie ScarJo. Free her. Honestly.
free her.
Well, yeah.
She's not.
Free her from the clutches of Disney. Fuck
She's
those
not.
guys.
She didn't get kidnapped by Disney. She just
Yeah,
wants
I
some
know,
money.
I know. I'm just being stupid.
Yeah. Someone
Yeah.
threw out the thought that watching Scott Pilgrim again, which I have many times. It's weird seeing Brie Larson, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Aubrey Plaza, Anna Kendrick, Chris Evans, and Jason Schwartzman in supporting roles to Michael Cera.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
bit weird. I will admit that. Yeah.
the biggest ones out there,
Mm.
I'd have to definitely say would be like Chris Evans, Brie Larson, and then Aubrey Plaza, only because she's been the lead of a good amount of indie projects. The other three are mostly supporting, I'd say. Anna Kendrick obviously had Pitch Perfect.
Mm.
Um, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's also doing this like assassin action movie, and Jason Schwartzman had Rushmore, and I don't know if he's gotten the lead in anything else since then, but
And then
yeah,
there was Brandon Routh, you know, one-time Superman, you know, or I
yeah,
guess two times if you count the CW. So, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Anyways, do we have any other news? Do you have any other news?
Yeah. Lucasfilm apparently hired someone who like from YouTube who does deep fakes, and apparently, according to whatever this article quoted as being used, like created a Luke and Leia and Tarkin cameos to shame by creating better deep fakes of those characters. And Lucasfilm hired them. So
That's a smart move. I like that. I like that. Give the person their money. I don't know if it's a
yeah,
man or woman or non-binary person, but that's pretty sick. Good for them. You know, if they can do a better job than a team of VFX people, then I think that there's definitely something there. And I'm glad Lucasfilm recognized that instead of just getting mad over the internet. It's like some studios tend to do. So
yeah. And
yeah.
he's like actually a professional like VFX artist, and he's like he's doing different methods. He's like actually innovating, so it's definitely a smart move on their part.
Hmm.
We got a first image of Saoirse Ronan and Sam Rockwell. I'll just show it up to the screen here. In a movie called See How They Run. In the West End of 1950s London, a world-weary inspector and an eager rookie find themselves thrown into a puzzling whodunit within the glamorous, sordid theater underground, investigating a mysterious homicide at their own peril. So I don't know.
Huh.
Definitely sounds like a fun film. I like both
Yeah,
of
it
the
could be
actors for
fun.
sure.
Maybe it'll be something like a bit like an old timey Knives Out mixed in with a bit of murder and
I
more
think it
in
would be
first.
maybe like a combination of Knives Out and Seven, maybe a little bit, kind of.
Or
a
maybe
little
like a
bit.
bit. I don't know. I mean, are you sure 7? It kind of seems like it's a bit.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's
Seems
going
like
for
it's
like a
slightly
dark.
lighthearted. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's why I'm saying it's more like. That's why I wouldn't say it's more like 7. I'd say it's more like Knives Out if you were to. But I think there
Yeah.
might be more 7 elements of like the detectives like being actively in danger, maybe being hunted a little bit,
Hmm.
that kind of thing.
Okay, I
Being
see what you mean.
focused completely more on the detectives rather than any of the suspects or other characters, right? That's something I think that 7, obviously Knives Out has the more lighter tone, but focuses a little more on characters like Anna de Armas is one,
Yeah.
the housemaid, and the family,
Ah.
which has Tony Collette, Michael Shannon, all those people,
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer. Um,
R.I.P. Yeah.
so I don't know. There was some article about how Quentin Tarantino refused to let Christoph Waltz rehearse *Inglourious Bastards* with the cast, so Hans Landa would shock the cast on set. I guess the idea is they worked the character together and then just tried to make him really intimidating and surprising
I
to
mean,
everyone else, which
I
is
get
like,
that though. I like that
yeah,
because, like, yeah, it kind of creates a sense of like, I don't know, mystery around the character a little more. That way, you
mm-hmm.
get better reactions on screen. I mean, like, there's like something similar to this. Like, do you remember like the It remake that came out in 2017?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
like
see
in
it.
that yeah, okay, well in that movie, what like while they were filming, what they basically did was they kept Bill Skarsgård like away from the kids, and then like when they're first seen together with the
Yeah,
monster there, they got genuine reactions out of them because they were actually scared, right? Because they hadn't seen him before and all the makeup. All right,
mm-hmm.
so I get what they mean. It's like it's a similar type of thing. You want
Yeah,
to get like as genuine a reaction as you can.
yeah.
I think it's definitely better that way.
I do think this article probably hypes it up a little more because this isn't an uncommon thing at all. This is used
Uh,
on tons and tons of films, like you mentioned.
oh yeah, of
I know
course.
this was
Yeah.
used on Eighth Grade specifically. Bo Burnham used this method to get the idea that the main character Kaylee is like meeting all the the other characters for the first time because she meets a bunch of them for the first time. The majority of the cast and the characters she meets for the first time because she's not exactly outgoing, so she's kind of learning to be more outgoing and to like meet new people a little more.
Huh. That's kind of
And
cool.
then the only like rehearsal or like clear bond that he allowed was obviously with the dad because that those characters would have known each other for her whole life, so that works a lot better versus like the other characters which the character is just meeting. So yeah,
Yeah, that
like
that's a good way to do it. I kind of like that.
yeah,
Nice.
smart directing.
Bo Burnham
Um,
again, just innovating. Honestly, this guy's a genius.
we got
Seriously.
first image of Stephen Yeun and Richard Jenkins in The Humans, which is slowly becoming one of my most anticipated films of the year. It's from A24. It's an adaptation of the Tony-winning play. It actually won Best Play over The Father, which recently did very well at the Oscars, bringing home Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Actor for Anthony Hopkins. Um, Around the Oscar Discord, the most hyped member of this cast would be Richard Jenkins in what is appearing to be a supporting role. And obviously, I think if he does very well, because apparently it's a very baity character, if he does very well, he could easily be in contention for not only definitely a nomination, but a win. And I definitely like to see that. Stephen Yeun apparently is a little more low key, but who knows? Maybe if he gets put in supporting, has a strong enough performance, he could also get in. But apparently, his character wouldn't be big enough for like lead actor, which could be the
Yeah.
case. But nevertheless, I'm really looking forward to if it beat The Father at the Tonys, then there's definitely got to
Yeah.
be something to this play. And The Father was a pretty good movie. Lots of people loved it a lot more than me. I have a feeling I might be like one of the people who like The Humans a lot better than I like The Father. I would have been one of the
Yeah.
people who voted it instead of The Father at the Tonys if I was a Tony member.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I like a lot of the crew that's behind it. The editor has worked with Greta Gerwig on a couple of her films, Lady Bird and Little Women. So there's definitely a lot of talented people working on this. And of course,
Awesome.
always out for my boy Steven Yeun, even if he's in
Of
Space
course.
Jam 2.
Why was he in Space Jam 2? I mean,
The
aside from a
paycheck.
paycheck.
The paycheck.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like, I don't know, for some
Wait,
reason
does he
they
have
wanted to
kids?
put Walking Dead people in it. Does he have kids?
Yeah, because
I
if he
don't
has kids, I
know.
can also understand that.
I know he has a Korean wife. Or yeah, he's a Korean wife, at least.
Yeah.
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 I learned that from a food show. Don't ask.
Honestly, I think the best bit of acting he ever did was try and convince the world that Andre Drummond was good in an All-Star campaign commercial. Because he's a Pistons fan, right? So I mean,
Right.
that's he did a thing for them.
You
But
know what? Respect.
Yeah,
You know,
mad
that's a
respect there.
valiant effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Steven Yeun in pretty much
Yeah, he's
everything
awesome.
he's ever touched and been in.
Yeah.
Knives Out 2 is apparently wrapped filming in Greece, which means production's pretty much halfway
Awesome.
complete. Obviously, it still needs to be edited. What I'm assuming there'll be a small amount of VFX and finishing touches, of course, so that will take
Yeah,
some
of course.
time. And obviously,
Yeah.
they don't need to rush it. They're not releasing this film until I think late 2022, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. So we don't have to worry about that. Tom Hanks will be in a Wes Anderson film. Yeah,
What a great crossover.
yeah.
Did
Tom Hanks definitely feels like he fits in the Wes Anderson universe. I'd
Yeah,
say personally.
for
So
sure.
I
I mean,
definitely
like,
look forward to, and I guess Tom Hanks, Wes finally called him up, and what I don't know, Tom said yes. So, you know what?
imagine if Wes Anderson did like Toy Story. I think that would be hilarious, to be honest.
Did Toy
That might
Story
be better than the
5?
original.
Toy
Yeah,
Story
Toy Story
5
5.
stop motion.
Yeah, Toy Story 5, except it takes place in some made-up European country, and all the toys are like these weird, like
Yeah, those
old-time
weird
toys.
like crafted. From
No,
a
one of them
long
is like
time.
from Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop collection. You know?
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
We got a couple of delayed movies.
God.
Netflix's Marilyn Monroe biopic starring Ana de Armas, Blonde, moved to 2022. That was anticipated.
No.
A lot of people thought Ana de Armas might be the front runner for this year. Looks like she'll have to maybe be the front runner next year. Clifford the Big Red Dog also got pulled from Paramount's release schedule as well.
Yes.
It's coming out, and I'm pretty sure it's still premiering at TIFF.
Ah,
That didn't get pulled. There's no
damn it, man.
confirmation that it's getting pulled from TIFF. It's
You
still
know,
going to TIFF according to
Sony has the fucking they have some balls to put that at TIFF, such a prestigious film
Paramount.
festival.
That was Paramount.
Oh, Paramount. Sorry,
It's
Fuck, why
Paramount.
did they- You know,
If
sorry,
anyone would
every
have
time
the balls, it's Paramount. Paramount.
Honestly, every time I think of something terrible, like animated CGI hybrid, like CGI live action hybrid, I always think of Sony just because they did those god awful Smurfs movies. You know, I mean, you remember those? Like
I
used
think
to
I
eat that
watched
up when I was
one.
younger.
I think I watched like one or two in my life. I don't remember them at all. I don't
Good.
remember them being particularly bad. Probably just because I was a child. I didn't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah. I think that's all. That's all the news I have. Welcome to trailer reaction. Today we're gonna be reacting to House of Gucci, movie directed by Ridley Scott, starring Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, and Al Pacino, and Salma Hayek. This is a pretty anticipated thing to be an Oscar thing. This is the second Ridley Scott trailer we'll be reacting to because he has two movies coming out this year about only a month apart. This is slated to be released in November of 2021. And yeah, again, it's kind of expected to be an Oscar thing. There are some mixed feelings about this trailer from what I've heard, but let's see what we think of it ourselves.
It was a name that sounded so sweet, so seductive. Synonymous with worth, style, power. But that name was a curse too.
I've been a Gucci all my life.
Your name is in the history books.
Paolo, you are Gucci, you need to dress the part.
It's chic.
Gucci needs new blood. It's time to take out the trash.
They're my family.
So am I.
You picked a real firecracker.
She's a handful.
Bravo. I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
the secret?
Father, Son, and House of Gucci.
I don't know. All right. Well, what did you think, Aiden?
I think it's a pretty solid trailer. I don't see a problem with it. I wasn't really like I thought the last line of the trailer was like a tad cringy, if I'm being honest with you. And I think the accents are a little bit over the top and interesting. But I mean, I don't know. I think it could be an alright movie. I'm optimistic for it. I'm a bit more excited for this than I am for The Last Duel, if I'm being honest. So I think this could be cool. You know, why not? I mean, it's an interesting story. You know, I mean, I read up a little bit about it after I watched the trailer for the first time. It's actually the second time I'm watching it, but I mean, yeah, no, it's quite the story. Like this lady basically just like enshrined, like burrowed her way into the Gucci family, then just like killed her husband. You know, kind of crazy. It's an interesting story to adapt, and I like Lady Gaga. I think she's surprisingly a solid actress. One of the few people that can sing, dance, and act. Triple threat. We love that. So I mean, yeah, I think she could do a good job in this movie.
Yeah, I'm most optimistic for her. Jared Leto looked kind of baity.
Yeah,
Adam
it's
Driver
weird.
Wasn't doing too much. Maybe less than I was expecting him to. I don't know. maybe
Adam
the
Driver
movie
kind of
underplayed
looks
him.
like you in that movie. He kind of looks like you in that movie, if I'm being honest.
I mean,
You tell me you didn't see it.
I
Just
can
a little
thinking
bit.
about it. I can see it a little bit. Obviously, I don't look exactly like him. I don't know. Some of
No,
these
okay.
shots look very questionable, though. I gotta say.
Yeah, like the shot of New York City looks pretty fake.
There's one shot on the balcony that looked really bad.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I guess that one. The shots in general didn't look particularly good. I can't imagine this getting a cinematography nomination. Also, can't. I thought it might be able to get a production design nomination with all like the rich houses. I'm a little doubting that now. They didn't seem to be too prominent. More just
Yeah.
street stuff and maybe a couple of houses, but they're not really. Doesn't look like the cinematography is really trying to accentuate the production design at all. It really seems to be
Yeah.
about these characters. They really,
Which is fine. I think that can work.
yeah, and that can be
Yeah.
fine. Obviously, they're really hammering home the Oscar idea with having each actor having like Academy Award nominee or winner above them, and
Yeah.
the director as well. They're kind of manipulating people with Lady Gaga's Academy Award winner, kind of making it seem like she won for acting, she won for song. It's a
She did get
little-
nominated for song though. I mean, not song. For acting, didn't she?
She did get nominated for acting
So why didn't they just put that then?
because they wanted to put winner because it sounds better.
Idiots.
Yeah, but I mean, and then the part at the end, like sex, power, scandal, whatever. I don't know. Seemed a little
Murder.
dumb. I kind of like Jared Leto's character a little more. It seems like he's supposed to be like the weird cousin or brother, sort of, who's like,
but
fuck
like I'm
fashion,
just gonna
which
like
is kind of
stop you
interesting.
there because like
And they really
what the hell,
hammered.
man?
They really went over the top with the makeup there. So like,
yeah,
I feel
I
like that-
had no idea that was him until like I looked at the cast because I missed his name at the front. Like when I was the first time I watched the trailer, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's Jared Leto!" Like what the like he is actually unrecognizable. I don't understand like why he does this to his body. Like he did, first with Dallas Buyers Club, and there's been a few other movies as well. But honestly, the man is just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
a bit
while
over
Jared
the top
Leto-
with his transformations.
yeah, has been a questionable actor. He's clearly willing to do a good amount for his craft, even if the craft doesn't always shine through. I think it might. I think this will probably get nominated. It seems too baity with especially if he has enough screen time, with the whole transformation and the idea of like, oh, he's the outside brother. He's the one who doesn't give a fuck about fashion. He doesn't give a fuck. He just maybe cares about people more than he cares about the fashion stuff, while everyone else is just a bunch of greedy assholes. Could be interesting. And then well, obviously the makeup. Lady Gaga, her accent probably is one of the more less questionable overall. Al Pacino,
Well, I think that's like
everyone else
yeah.
doesn't look like they're doing too much. Even Adam Driver didn't look like he was doing too much, particularly.
Yeah, I mean, like
Um,
Lady Gaga grew up in a house in New York City with
Yeah.
Italian immigrants, like in her youth. So I mean, she better know how to do a fucking good Italian accent. Honestly,
Yeah,
like, come on
which I
now.
guess is why
Yeah,
Ridley Scott casted her in this movie as part of the reason.
yeah,
So I think she'll probably be nominated. I think Jared Leto will be nominated. I already had those predicted. I'm still very skeptical if this would get picture. I don't know. It's Beatty, but I can't imagine many people taking this seriously enough. I personally thought the trailer was a little pretty cringe, honestly. For a lot of it was quite questionable, especially in the presentation. Honestly, I think I might think The Last Duel is a better competitor. Honestly, just off the trailers, I think obviously and that's only because I think this trailer was maybe better, but I think The Last Duel might have more potential just from like it looked better. I feel
yeah,
like maybe more is gonna happen versus
yeah,
even though I think that trailer was cut worse than this one.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't trust this for picture. I think this will probably still hover around like the top 10. It will there's a solid, somewhat chance it might get in if a couple other movies clearly disappoint. But I don't
Yeah.
know, man. This doesn't seem like one of Ridley Scott's stronger projects. I think.
Well,
Honestly,
you know what? Sometimes trailers don't always tell the full story. I mean, I personally didn't
yeah,
have the biggest problem with it. I will admit there were some cringy moments, but I'm gonna be optimistic here. You know,
yeah.
that's my job.
My
Your job is the pessimist on this channel,
Yeah,
clearly. So,
usually I would say
yeah,
I'm very pessimistic about the look overall, cuz
yeah,
the trailer clearly should indicate what the movie's going to look like. I don't think it looks very good, and that can usually be a big part into that can often translate to a quality of a movie, so we'll have to see, but I don't know. I think the look of The Last Duel was better personally.
yeah. No, I will agree with you. I think the last duel definitely does look better, cinematography wise. But
Yeah.
you never know what could happen. That is all.
Yeah.
I hope that shot of New York City wasn't what they're
I
going to
hope
use
they
in the final
patch it.
film.
Yeah, they better
Yeah,
patch
they
that
better
shit.
patch it because I mean, that didn't look realistic at all. I
Yeah.
mean, why not just actually go to New York City? I mean, they're clearly getting a lot of money for this film, so
Yeah, I mean,
just
I'm pretty sure they did most of the filming in Italy. Um,
so
that's part
that's
of it.
why.
That's why I don't know if they wanted. I don't know if they had to commit to being in Italy because they did film a bunch of this during the pandemic stages.
Ah,
It's been on and off. I know, and also this movie's been somewhat rushed together because it only started. I think it started in sometime in 2020, but most of the filming I think has been done in early 2021. And it's only wrapped up. It wrapped up couple of months ago, but I don't think the movie's even the movie itself is completed yet. They don't have a full cut
yeah.
of it. Um, so yeah, that's probably maybe part of why this trailer might be a bit sketchy, but I don't know. I'm not particularly looking forward to this, but I think it could still be an Oscar player. As much as I kind of begrudge that a little bit, because I think there's probably
Yeah.
better things that will deserve it over it, but this might get in over it other stuff anyways. But we'll have to see. Yeah, I don't know. I hate to say this, but I'm kind of rooting for Jared Leto at this point because I think he was my favorite out of that whole trailer, just because I kind of like his character a little bit.
No, fair enough. I can understand
I'm
that.
kind of
Yeah.
falling for the bait of the transformation, and I'm sure the Academy will as well. But anyways, I think that's all I have to say about this. We can go back to the podcast. So I think we can move into the movies. What do you want to start
Awesome.
with?
You know what? Let's start with Old Man the Gun because I got a lot to say about Jungle Cruise. We can leave that till the end.
All right,
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
The Old Man the Gun is
Yeah.
a 2018 film directed and written by David Lowery, starring Robert Redford, Sissy
Yep.
Spacek, Casey
Spacek.
Affleck, Spacek,
Basic.
Spacek.
Spacek. Yeah,
It
Spacek.
kinda, it. Okay, I mean.
I
fair
promise you
enough.
it's Spacek.
I'm not believing you. I'm just trying to remember how why I thought it was Spacek.
Spacek.
Trying to I want to look at the spelling and see if I'm just saw it the wrong way. But also Danny Glover and Tom Waits, along with John David Washington and Isaiah Whitlock Jr. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think of this? Because I need to be honest, I fell asleep for a little bit watching this. So, okay, part of this is my fault. It's mostly my fault. I started this movie at midnight after having watched 2 other movies.
Yeah.
But also the movie didn't do enough to really keep me in at the same time. And that's, to be fair, that's kind of David Lowery's way.
Yeah.
In general, he's definitely not a director who's focused on pacing too much. I don't know if he ever thinks about pacing at all.
Yeah.
Not that, like, obviously I think this film's definitely maybe his fastest film, but at the same
Yeah,
time...
no, it was an hour and a half or something like that. It went by pretty quickly. Yeah.
But at the same time, I definitely missed a lot of it. Because I don't remember John David Washington being in this movie at all.
Wait,
I'm pretty
what?
sure I missed anything he was in. He was in
Oh
the movie.
wait, no, wait. I think I know.
He
I
was
think
Lieutenant Kelly.
Yeah, he was one of the detectives. I think he was Casey Affleck's partner or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't ever notice that.
Yeah, no, I thought I recognized him for a second there. Yeah, and then I heard
Yeah.
his voice, and I was like, "Why do I recognize that? It sounds a bit like Denzel Washington." And then I come to find it's his clone. So
It's his clone.
Yeah.
It's his
Well, he is essentially he's like a young Denzel. He's pretty suave, he's looking good, and he's decent. He's a pretty good
It's
actor
'cause
too.
he's-
Not as good as his dad
Is
yet, but
Jaden Smith a clone of Will?
no, because I don't know. I think Will Smith is a better rapper and actor, So
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean...
I'm just saying, Boom Boom Shake the Room is a certified classic. Then instead of Icon, I'm just saying. But anyways, we're getting
definitely getting off
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think David Lowery ever cares about pacing at all. Like, even the Ghost Story was an hour and a half. It was definitely slower than this.
Yeah.
I feel like he might need to work with another editor, or just work with an editor instead of editing all of his projects by himself. Because particularly some of the cuts and the way he ends the scenes and the fades, I didn't like very much. I thought they were a little annoying. Obviously, this movie has a good amount of positive qualities, I'd say. The performances are charming, I'd say. I don't think they're particularly great. They're not in your face at all. The writing's entertaining enough for the movie. And the cinematography feels more ambitious than I feel like a typical movie like this would go for. I think it was definitely better than something like No Sudden Move. Even though I think this movie is very close to the quality of No Sudden Move and has some similarities.
Yeah.
Not that many, I don't know, it's just the closest thing I have to a crime story that's also somewhat a period piece of
Yeah, no, I get what you mean there. Yeah.
similar era, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Again, none of these elements are particularly good, which is why I probably fell asleep. Nothing, was really trying to pull me in. The story only really elevated the material to the point where I'd consider it good to okay.
Yeah.
That's personally all I got out of it. I don't know what else I don't know what did you get out of it.
I mean, I don't know. I like the fact. I like the actual story behind it. I mean, I was. It's a pretty interesting story. I didn't realize that this actually happened. This guy actually was an escape artist essentially, and he robbed all these banks when he was old. Which is it's so bizarre to me. I mean, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it because it does seem like something that would be, that is truly fiction. I just can't believe it actually happened. I kind of like that they adapted it, and I think it was a decent send off performance for Robert Redford because this technically was his last film that he put out before he retired. But then obviously he had Endgame, right? And he was in that briefly, but I mean this was kind of his farewell.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
it was too bad. I
And
mean,
I'd
yeah,
say-
I like.
It's not bad for that. It makes
Yeah.
sense with how the film goes. Obviously that he considered this probably a passion project of sorts. He helped to produce it.
Yeah.
He didn't do too much producing overall. It's a little weird he'd do it with David Lowery. I don't know, especially at this phase in his career. I feel like this was maybe a little bit of a rush together send-off for Redford, as well as trying to maybe be a little bit of an Oscar bait movie. Because it was made by Searchlight. They're often do a good amount of Oscar projects. They usually do 4 films a year, and at least 2 or 3 of them get Oscar nominations. This feels like it was trying to be that in some ways. And obviously David Lowery was coming off a pretty good critical reception from A Ghost Story. And it's not like this thing wasn't critically well liked. It was pretty well liked overall. I just think it's easily the most forgettable of his movies I've seen, and probably might be the most forgettable of all his movies. Could easily be because you saw.
Yeah.
I think the only other movie you've seen from David Lowery is Pete's Dragon, right?
Yeah. And I also had Redford in it. Funny enough. So.
Which one would you prefer?
Between the two?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I haven't seen Pete's Dragon in a while. I did quite like it when I saw it. I mean, like, it definitely caught me by surprise. But I mean, because most remakes are kind of like a little bit bland, and it was Disney
Yeah.
doing a remake. So I mean, like, I wasn't expecting much, but what I did get was pretty solid. I think it was a great outing. But I don't know. I think I kind of like. I think I kind of like this film just a bit better, I mean, I just think the story is just a little bit more, like, interesting. I mean, like, I think it's, like I said, I like the real-life element there. I think that usually makes some stories like this a bit better,
The Oscar
And I
bait
like that. I do like.
the
I
Oscar
also
bait
do.
elements are working.
Yeah, I know, but I also like that. There's one scene in the movie I kind of like where it's just like, do you know, like, when they're at the where the detective and, like, Frank, or not Frank? Why did I say Frank? That's the character from Joan Cruise, but Aurora Redford are, like, in the diner together, like, and then, like, he goes up to him and, like, in the bathroom, and it's just like, acting coy, like, and then the detective's like, I'll see you soon or whatever, like, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna catch you. I think that was kind of cool. It wasn't too, like, crazy. It's
Yeah.
kind of one scene that I
Again,
remembered.
And David Lowery, never, like, even though some of the things he does are a little crazy, he never, like, tries to, like, throw them at you. It's not like
Yeah.
he's, like, trying to make them even if they're crazy, he doesn't make them stand out. I'd kind of say it sort of reminds me of how Ari Aster does his movies, at least Midsommar in some ways. Because a lot of the horrors of Midsommar are in the background mostly. He doesn't, like, focus on them too much. Obviously, there's clearly very grotesque and focused scenes in that movie.
Yeah, but there's
And
more about
obviously-
creating just an unsettling atmosphere.
Yeah. And I'd say that's kind of what David Lowery does, except he was trying to create a more exciting but also low-key atmosphere that felt
Yeah, no, I
grounded.
definitely agree with that. Yeah.
And I think he did succeed enough at that. It doesn't make for the best movie, I'd say. In the last 10 minutes, I thought the movie would end at those multiple, like, fade to blacks. Because there's, like, 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I thought the movie was going to end. The escape montage felt very weird to have at the end of the movie also. Feels like
Yeah.
something that you'd have in the beginning.
Yeah, no, that would have been good to know.
And it's not like it really aided that scene that much. Because
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, 17, oh, he's going to escape right now. And then she's just like, how about you don't? And then he's like, well, now he doesn't say anything. It just cuts to the blue and then the lettering saying, and he did. And I'm just like, okay, but then what was the point of that montage? Like, I could get maybe using that montage to show how you would escape again.
Yeah.
But that should have just been in the beginning. Honestly, that would have been a better way to, like, start the movie, honestly, than what they started with.
Yeah, I mean, I
Because-
don't know. I think if they like had that at the beginning, right? But then they kind of like did like like a Christopher Nolan thing where they kind of jump back and forth between the present and then like, or like I guess that movie's version of the present, and then like his like chronicling his like saga of bank robbing. I mean, I think that could have been all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like the opposite. But the thing is, his bank robberies are like the opposite of Heat, as in like they're
Yeah.
pretty boring because all he does.
Yeah, they're pretty boring.
He's
well,
just-
he's old. He has a
Yeah, I
hearing
know,
aid.
I
He
know,
has
I
to be
know. But
low-key.
that's just like
Yeah.
obviously. But that's why I'm thinking the escape montage would have made more sense, or at least one escape, and then like showing other escapes over time, like showing a montage like that, maybe with also him getting caught multiple times would have been a better introduction than him robbing a place. Because him robbing a place shouldn't be the most interesting part of this movie because the most of the time the lore of something like that is all the action and intensity happening. But Guy just like pulls out his jacket and then talks to the guy, gets some money and leaves, and then he drives away. That's the more intense part. But even then, it's not that intense. He's an old man. He's not like he's clearly he just stops and then gets into and then tries to help the lady, which obviously kind of helps found like the central relationship that helps drive that. And I thought it was charming enough, like I said, but again, there's nothing that really makes this movie tick too much. Like I didn't see anything particularly about this movie that made it want to be made. Because obviously it's like, oh, it's cool. He's an old man who robbed places. But I feel like it's not like he's particularly special in what he does. I feel like a lot of people with his abilities, like at his age, could do it. It's just that none of them do. it's like
Yeah.
he's the only one who had the balls to, but that doesn't make him particularly interesting, I'd say. Casey
Yeah.
Affleck, who's kind of, I feel like, the secondary character, is like the closest to a secondary lead. He was good, but also like his subtle form of acting, like, because I feel like the whole time he's just like in his
He's
head.
just kinda
He's
doing,
try-
like-
yeah, like
he's
David
doing the thing
Lowery
he does.
through his like the character started trying to communicate how this guy's like kind of trying to push himself to like actually be good at his job and like be like, you know, wrestle with the failure a little bit, but also trying to like step up to the challenge. That seems to be his argument, but like it's not nearly as compelling as like something like Manchester, and the
Yeah.
performance is also simply weaker in Manchester, and the writing is much weaker, so therefore you don't get too much out of it. The music was fine from what I remember. The composer Daniel Hart, who works with Lowery all the time, he could have done better. He's done better for sure. He definitely did
Yeah.
better in The Green Knight and A Ghost Story. And that's what I'd say for almost every aspect of this film. I feel like everyone involved has done better in
Yeah.
somewhat similar situations, or just better in general.
No, you're probably right, but that's okay. I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I really, I don't have.
This was no
too
one's
much to say
peak,
about it.
I'd say.
No, I think it's a solid film,
is
you know, but
okay.
but it does get me excited for The Green Knight, though. I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff that was good here. I think it's a promising film, you know. I mean, I think along with Pete's Dragon, which also like, you know, is kind of made me a bit more excited for it, just because like I've seen the progression of this guy as a director, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure those were just like earlier bumps in the road. You know, not to say that this film is bad or anything, but you know, it's all about kind of figuring out like, you know,
Yeah.
what exactly he's trying to communicate.
And I would
properly,
say
you know?
A Ghost Story is probably better.
Yeah. Okay.
Which he did before this.
Really?
Yeah, he did it the year before.
What was
so,
that?
like,
was that through A24?
That
or
was
what
through
that?
A24. So I definitely think, yeah, he's bounced between A24 and Disney. He's going back to Disney to make Peter Pan and Wendy. Which after seeing The Green Knight, I'm pretty excited for. But obviously Disney's probably going to make it closer to a Pete's Dragon type thing. There won't be too
yeah,
much,
for sure.
but it'll definitely probably be a better film than like
Yeah.
The Lion King or Mulan. I'd really hope. David Lowery, I think, can do that for us.
Well, yeah, I hope so too. I mean, like we've seen like, you know, like live action Peter Pans before. You know, I mean, like if you want to talk about the 2003
Hook?
version, yeah, Hook, or like the 2003 movie just titled Peter
Yeah.
Pan.
And I'm pretty sure Hook
Yeah.
is like Steven Spielberg's like worst reviewed movie.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like 36%. Yeah. So I mean, I think, you know, with his skill set, like I think David Lowery could probably like pull this off. To be honest, I mean, I'm very I'm optimistic for it. You know, at least
Yeah.
they've hired someone like, you know, who could like, you know, cares about his craft. He's not looking to just make a buck. You know, like some directors are, unfortunately. I mean,
Yeah.
like I respect the hell out of John Favreau, but
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like he wasn't the right person for that Lion King movie, and that's probably
Yeah,
why.
I would say David Lowery's maybe like a more talented John Favreau in some ways, because I think both of them really care about like the material they're given all the time. But
Yeah.
I think David Lowery definitely knows how to execute it better. I also just think The Old Man and the Gun was just weaker material in general than pretty much everything else he's done. And a
Yeah.
lot of that's because he came up with like a lot of the concepts, especially from A Ghost Story, I'm pretty sure was completely original. Obviously, The Green Knight's based on an adaptation of like a King Arthur tale, but he
Yeah.
obviously makes it a lot more abstract than just the tale itself.
Yeah, of course.
And I'd say Jon Favreau doesn't really know how to do that. He only knows what he's only as good as his material, and sometimes his material is just a remake, and a worse remake at that. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I have to say about The Old Man.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about it too. I'm good. Let's just get into it.
Robert Redford was
Yeah.
better in Winter Soldier. I give this movie a 6 out of 10, close to a 5.
Damn. I mean, you know, actually, in some regards, I actually kind of agree with you there. Robert Redford, yeah, he was probably one of the first Marvel villains that actually started to get, you know, good in a way. You know, like the Marvel. That's where kind of the Marvel
I
villains.
feel
started
like Marvel villains are
better
better the
characters.
more human they are, honestly. Like,
yeah,
it's like-
no, exactly.
Like Thanos actually feels like a person.
Yeah, even though
Killmonger
he's just
felt
like
like a
giant,
person.
like, you know, like
Robert Redford felt like a
yeah.
person versus like Dark Elf.
Yeah. Yeah, Dark
And-
Elf. That was a terrible villain, honestly. Yeah.
And other people.
Just again, just wasted
the
great
like.
actor,
Yeah.
Eccleston, on that. So, but
And
yeah,
then, like, yeah.
yeah. But anyways, for my score, I'd probably give it around the same score. I'd probably give it like 6.5. To be honest, I think it was definitely solid. You know, I mean, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Specifically, The Green Knight. I really need to try and find some time to watch that. But I don't know. Work has been
Yeah.
fucking kicking my ass. I just get home, I have no energy the next day. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard, man. It's tough out here, but at least I'm making money. Anyways, speaking of making money, let's get into this Disney film, Jungle Cruise. All right, this has just been released. It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily Blunt, Edgar Ramirez, Paul Giamatti, and Jack Whitehall, I believe. So, yeah.
You're forgetting the most important. Jesse
Who am I forgetting?
Plemons. You're forgetting the most
Oh
important.
yeah, I can't. Oh jeez, yeah, I
Jesse
forgot he was in
Plemons.
this. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mistake. Jesse Plemons. No
Jesse
disrespect, my
Plemons.
brother. Yeah.
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 I mean, it was #1 at the box office this week.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm not wrong, yeah.
By like
There
a
you go.
good margin. Of
course.
Old
It's a
and The
fucking
Green Knight
Rock.
were competing for second. Yeah. And this is like the last thing that's like co-releasing on Disney Plus. I just also
Yeah.
kind of find it funny it was shot on. What was the I am also curious what the
200
budget for
million.
this thing was. Huh?
200 million.
200 million?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I start to get a little bit annoyed because let's be honest here, the CGI is shit. Okay, it looks terrible. It's gonna look even more terrible in like 10 years from now, maybe even 5 years from now.
Damn. Okay.
Like
What the-
I just can't even begin to
Really?
like describe it. Like what the hell is okay that fucking
Really?
leopard or whatever that doesn't even look real. Not even close.
No, nothing. Okay, I thought low key. I thought they like had a smaller budget to like
Yeah.
make money, so they were gonna be like, okay, fuck it. We're just gonna make everything look like a fairy tale. We're gonna make it purposely look. We're not gonna try too
No,
much.
it literally looks like a video game sometimes.
Yeah, and I was okay
Yeah.
with that because I thought they were kind of doing that on purpose to like be like, oh, it's it's not exactly real life. We gotta, we're not gonna make it look perfect, so we're gonna like make clear imperfections to make it more cartoonish. And it kind of fits with the tone of the movie. No, it's not taking itself seriously at all.
I mean, yeah,
And
that's definitely
it's
true.
probably
but,
its
I mean,
greatest strength, right? No.
Yeah, then I will admit I do like the carefree tone, but I also like what's up with all the weird corny jokes just randomly put in the movie?
It's
like,
part of The Rock's character. He's a dad.
But why? Why was that the thing that they decided on? It's just such a random character trait. Like he just keeps on ringing these off, and it's just like I know he's a father, but like he has no
See-
children in the movie. Why is he making so many dad jokes?
Because he's 400 years old.
Yeah, okay, yeah. See, that's another thing. Like
His
a fucking Samoan conquistador? Are you kidding me? And then there was another line in the movie where like he was like The Rock was telling Paul Giamatti, "Yeah, I need to keep some of this money so I can eat this week." And I'm like, "Who are you fooling? You're fucking eating every day. Look at the size of you, man. Like if you weren't eating every day, you'd be fucking skinny as hell. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't know.
I feel like that's just a
He just
critique
feels
of
so out
Dwayne
of place
Johnson
here,
as any
man.
character. He's like he can't exist as
He's
any
just
character because
himself.
he can only be himself in the real world. He can only
Yeah.
be the guy who's eating like 7,000 calories a day
Yeah,
and
exactly.
working and
They didn't even
constantly
work
in
that
the
into
gym.
his fucking Fast and Furious character. Like, come on, man. Like, he's basically just The Rock in those movies. Like, I don't know.
And maybe they were better off for
But
it.
like, yeah, but like, how is this man a conquistador? Seriously, I don't understand. It was such a stupid. It was such a
can't
stupid
believe-
twist.
I just like I get movies with The Rock can like warrant larger financial investments.
Yeah, I
But
just I don't
$200
think
million?
$200 million
For Emily
and
Blunt,
they couldn't put at least
CGI
a bit more
and
effort into it.
and they're relying on the IP of Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, and a fucking Disney World ride, which honestly feels like such a large flex. There's like
You know why
this
they're
feels
doing
like
this, though,
Disney
right?
being actually self-aware. This is like they're not just trying to make money; they're like flaunting so much that they can make money in a more non-lazy way than just
Yeah, they're
remaking
just like,
something.
haha, I
They're
bet
like-
you will put out anything and you fuckers will see it. Like, exactly. Like, it's just so stupid, honestly. Like,
No,
and, like,
I'd rather
the only
this.
time it's actually worked for me was Pirates of the Caribbean, because
But
that
I-
had Johnny Depp in the lead role, and that
But
man
this
is just a
had
national pleasure.
Dwayne. But okay,
Yeah.
look. You know what? Like how Johnny Depp was the thing that maybe appeals to you about the Pirates of the Caribbean series.
Yeah,
What appealed to me about this movie was Jesse Plemons.
I will agree
he's a
there.
god.
I liked his character as Kaiser Wilhelm's son. Like,
Yeah.
that was so strange. Why does it take place like around World War One though? That's the other thing
Because-
I'm confused about.
Yeah, that actually. Now that I think about it, that didn't
Like,
mean
there's no
shit.
reason for it
That
to.
didn't, in the end, it didn't mean. I thought, well, the kind of idea I think they were going for at first was that the medicine thing, the thing that heals people, would be able to, they use it for science and then help it, heal soldiers, so not as many men would die. But
Yeah,
they
but
just
still,
kind
a lot
of
of
they
people
abandoned.
died.
They did. Well, obviously, but no, this is supposed to be. This is like reverse history, right? This is like Inglorious Bastards, but the kids' version.
Yeah, I guess those fucking pedals, like weren't gonna do anything when World War II came around and the fucking Nazis were just destroying
Yeah.
all the like
But I like
Jewish people,
Jesse
like
Plemons is just really fun. It also, I feel like, if he Hans Landa from Inglorious Bastards,
Yeah.
if he played him, honestly, he still probably would have done almost just as good as Christoph Waltz, and he probably would have won an Oscar. Honestly, based off this performance, I could easily see that happening. He did this with like what, you think what? You don't think he could?
it's not that. It's just that Christoph Waltz as Hans Landa, like that's like one of the best movie villains of all time. You gotta really think that through. Are you 100% sure that he could make the character just as iconic?
It might maybe not as iconic, but I think he would have still won the Oscar. I'd say maybe not. I think he'd be close. Look, Jesse Plemons is really good.
Fine.
Man.
I will admit he would be close. I don't think he would have won it though. Honestly.
Okay, well, let's double check who he would have to beat, because I don't even remember. Because honestly,
Jesse Plemons
because
at
he
that time
swept.
was
He
like-
swept. Like Hans Landa, Christoph Waltz swept. No one, like at every single award show, no one got close to him. He would have had to beat. This was a weak ass year. Okay, he would have easily won. Fucking Stanley Tucci from The Lovely Bones, Matt Damon in Invictus, Christopher Plummer in The Last Station, and then Woody Harrelson in The Messenger.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, see,
Fair
that's
enough.
easy class. No,
But like, still, I think that Christoph Waltz could have won in any other year as well. I like this performance a lot.
would he beat Heath Ledger?
Ooh, that's a good question. But I think we should save that for we should do like a what if video, talk about stuff like that. I think that would be good. We could totally do that.
I mean, I think it's okay we're talking about it right now, because like honestly,
I mean, if you
what
want to
is
do
there
it right now, we can.
what is there
but,
to say about Jungle Cruise, really?
I have one more thing I would like to say.
right.
Why is Jack Whitehall's character gay? Because they're just
Wait.
gonna get rid of that when they release it in China. Like, come on. What do you mean?
Gay? I
You
know.
didn't. Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Is
They
that
put
like-
these little throwaway lines in the movie. It's just meant some people.
Yeah, I didn't have
understand it, but-
subtitles. Did you
Yeah,
have
okay.
subtitles?
So I'll tell you what. So
Did
he
you
was
have
basically
subtitles?
he was talking
Or
to
did
The
you
Rock.
hear it? Did you have subtitles, or did you hear it?
No, I heard it. I was
Okay,
basically
I
saying
guess I'm
like
deaf.
I was watching and he was talking to The Rock. He was like, yeah, I had to turn down the proposal of this nice young maiden because my I think he said something along the lines of like I have eyes for other tastes.
another one. I just thought.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
And then he
what
was
the.
saying that he was ostracized,
Look,
that he would have been kicked out of society. But then his sister stood by him.
And that and I can see that now that I think about it again. But also, I was kind of thinking it could have just been a woman of another race. Because let's be honest, this is World War One. People are racist as fuck. This is World War One era. It could have been
that's a
fucking
good
anyone
point.
but
I
a
don't
one.
know. I just
This could have been.
You know
it
what,
could have
I
been a
think-
poor white lady. Let's be
I
honest.
don't know. I
frankly.
feel like the way it was
'Cause it
framed,
could be
it was
anything,
intended
bro.
to be like that, but it
Could have
was
been
just ambiguous enough that
anything.
it probably
Yeah, of
could
course.
sneak past the Chinese censors. I
Yeah,
mean,
easily. No,
like-
that's
Ugh.
kind.
and I don't know. I hate that stuff in
That's
these
such
Disney movies because
weakness.
because they want to fucking preach racial fucking equality,
every
free
equality.
speech or whatever,
Every
like
equality.
like looking after each other, homophobia is wrong, like on social media and shit like that. But then they can't even fucking stand up to like a country like China. I understand it's a big fucking market, but like either stick to your message or don't. Let's be real here. Stop fucking using
Yeah.
it for clout. I'm sick of that shit, man. It makes my blood boil.
Yeah, the character in Cruella definitely had much more commitment than this one.
Oh my god, yeah.
That obviously like these side characters being randomly gay just because they.
Yeah,
want
like
to,
it's okay to have the side characters gay, but
Yeah.
Lord forbid there ever be
Also,
a fucking
it's
lead
like, yeah,
character that is.
why can't you like? why can't you just have the balls to like say it in our copy and then like even like at least have that, at least have that, not like be so lazy as to like make only one version that's ambiguous enough to get past Chinese censors.
And then just make a special Chinese version where that scene's been cut out completely, or in the case of the Star Wars
two
movies,
copies. But I guess it
Yeah.
would be kind of weird on set to be like, okay, guys, now we need to shoot the Chinese version of the scene. So,
Yeah.
Jack, I'm gonna need you to make sure to not specify. These are the new lines to the Chinese version. It's very ambiguous. All right.
Yes.
It would be kind of weird.
Respect the CCP. He does not. Xi Jinping does not look like Winnie the Pooh at all. Yeah, that's right. Cool.
Yeah.
And having said that, in case someone from China is
Yeah, see-
actually watching this,
I
probably means
didn't-
I can go there now, which is
see-
cool. You know, it's fine.
Yeah. And I would only figure out that character's gay based on you telling me or like a random.
I mean,
BuzzFeed
I don't know.
article.
It seemed pretty heavily that's what they were trying to imply, but I get it. It is like it's
Have you
hard
seen
to
like any
decipher
article or anything that's like, oh, this character's gay, or did you just
You know,
figure,
they're
did you
probably
just
not.
deduct
They're
that
like-
by yourself?
Well, what? But why else would they be so ambiguous about it? You know, I mean, like if he was just saying, you know, like I fell in love with a girl, it'd be easier to just say that because I think that the Chinese censors would be a little bit more forgiving for something like that.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I don't know. What would it be? Would it be weird if he said he fell in love with like a Chinese girl? I wonder how the Chinese censors react to that. Not like I don't know if they would like that or not. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know how
they,
they.
I don't know.
That's curious. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what they think of that.
It's a tricky one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Again, the CG, 200. Yeah. Okay. Like I guess because it was clearly they built a boat set and then everything else was green screen.
It's the green screen, yeah.
It was very clear.
How does you know? Honestly, I gotta give it up to the actors because that must be so hard to just imagine all that shit around you. You know?
Well,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure they had like something walking around with the green screen over it for like the cheetah and stuff. I'm sure they have. that
but
good
like
enough
still,
time.
like, what, how would you not bust out laughing if you saw someone pretend to be like a cheetah or something just walking around? You have to pet it. Like, that
Yeah,
would be-
you just pet like.
pet a man in a leotard. Like, yes, come here.
Look,
Yeah.
you got. Look, there are much more
That's
awkward
pretty
things.
sexy. I'm not
people-
gonna lie, but I mean, you know, it's like
There are much
wouldn't
more
do it.
awkward things that people would have to do on set for other movies. This is a Disney movie. They're here for the money,
Yeah.
okay?
Fair
They're
enough.
chilling.
I'll give you that. Yeah,
They're chilling.
fair.
You know, we don't need to worry about the effort that Emily Blunt and Dwayne the Rock Johnson had to put
Yeah.
into this movie. They were. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. And the other thing about being like on a sound stage, which they were, is it's that you don't have weather affecting you at all. They're just chilling.
Yeah.
There's probably an AC or whatever they need. Like just a
Yeah.
step away. So it's like they're chilling.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, why did the Rock keep, obsessing about Emily Blunt wearing pants? Like,
because that was improper for a woman.
I know, I can understand one line, but it was continually brought up throughout the movie. It's like, pants lady, get over here, or something like that. You're like,
Because
what the fuck?
it became their bonding thing. It became the inside joke. It became the thing.
Then the other inside joke is
became
like,
the
Skippy,
nickname.
like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
Skippy,
not
peanut
the peanut butter.
Yeah, yes, the
Yeah.
peanut butter. He was
Yeah.
definitely thinking about the peanut butter.
Yeah, I bet you that's probably on his fucking list of like, how many calories he has to put in a day or
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah,
Pretty sure he eats peanut butter.
yeah.
And I would say this feels like a Disney product that actually feels aware it's a Disney product. Like especially in that first scene, I like where Dwayne the Johnson's like, oh, this is the jungle.
Did you just say
Cruise.
Dwayne the Johnson?
Dwayne the Johnson? Dwayne the
You just
Johnson.
called him a dick, basically.
Okay, Aiden, you know what? You need to get your
What?
mind out of the gutter.
But you know what a Johnson is, so like I'm just
Now that you're saying it that way, I wouldn't have thought of that first. Get your mind out of the gutter, like I said. Get your mind out of the gutter. As I was saying, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, in his first scene, when he's doing like the whole Jungle Cruise thing, it was just like Disney. I feel like it was kind of funny, just like them being aware of like, because that's kind of how the actual ride would be. It's like obviously all
Yeah,
those things are just
exactly.
small little tricks. I feel like they were kind of making fun, like, and like a good amount of these people were falling for it. So I low-key feel like they were just making fun of the people who go to Disney World and go on the ride because they're like, haha, this is all fake.
you
It's all
spent
fake.
money on something that was
So
fake.
yeah, that's kind of a scam. Haha, I'm Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
And I feel like it tries to focus more on the fun of the world and the CGI rather than the epicness or drama of it. It wasn't like, imagine if they tried to make like a really complex creature in this
Yeah.
in this with the CGI like consistency we got here, it would have looked like absolute garbage. Like imagine
Yeah,
they
I
like
mean,
had
I
a
think even just,
Cloverfield
like,
monster or some shit.
Yeah. No,
Like,
those
something-
conquistadors though, like they looked like really bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like from
They
like
looked
from a
gross.
yeah, no, from like a medium distance, it looked like passable, but then as you got closer, it just looked worse and worse.
Honestly, if I was a kid, I'd be kind of scared of those fucking things.
Yeah.
God.
Also, I don't know. It's yet another movie that just like
I feel like-
underutilizes Edgar Ramirez. I think that man has just he's just, I don't know. He has not gotten a lot of decent roles. I think the only role that was actually like pretty good that he was in was, you know, like that CIA contractor in Zero Dark Thirty. I don't even remember his name. I don't know. I wish that man would get more like, you know, like solid projects, to be honest.
I
with
mean,
you.
at least you got paid for this.
Yeah, I guess that's all that matters at the end of the day. You gotta
Jesse.
put food on the table, but like, god damn, man, just please pick some better projects. You're so much better
Yeah.
than this.
Again, I think it knows it's cheesy. For a good amount.
You think?
And I thought
Yeah.
it felt like it knew its CGI was shit, but now that I'm kind of questioning, considering the budget. But you know, I got what I expected, and you know, it was fun enough thanks to Jesse Plemons. The story and
Yeah.
writing was like there was actually some writing. You could see there was writing.
Yeah.
Someone thought of this for longer than like 5 seconds. Like
That's good.
like
You know,
on
I'm gonna
decisions
give
for
it
more than
for
5
some
seconds.
effort. And you know what? Honestly, like, you know, if there's any like animators, we're not saying that we're experts on this stuff. I'm like, you know, I understand it's a very hard thing to like,
Make
you know,
a
get the
whole
CGI
world.
animations just right. Yeah, exactly. It's difficult as hell, but like
To make a whole
when you're
jungle.
given $200 million, it better be fucking good. That's all I gotta
Yeah.
say, man. Like, there's no excuse for that. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know where the money went.
Yeah,
Actually,
seriously.
I think Dwayne actually.
I think The Rock fucking siphoned
yeah, I was
off
about to
half
say
of it.
Mr. Johnson
Yeah.
probably siphoned it. I think he took
Yeah.
it. It's probably him.
Yes.
I'm sure Blunt got.
No, it's
paid
probably
pretty
so
well.
they could fucking build a gym like right in the middle of the set or something like that.
Yeah,
so you could just
yo,
work
there
out
was
whenever you
definitely. I can't wait to see that in Disney Plus. The behind the
Yeah.
scenes of Jungle Cruise and just
Yeah,
see
exactly,
Dwayne's
yeah.
like before a shoot. It's like, okay, I got to get my workout in.
Yeah.
I do think that Blunt and Mr. Johnson have a good chemistry in this.
Yeah, you got
movie.
good chemistry. I'll give you that. Yeah.
I can't say it's the same for the brother, but
Yeah.
you know he works well enough. But he felt like the definition of a third wheel, not only in like the fact that there was obviously a little bit of romance happening, but just like as a person, and like even when it was completely platonic, and like
Yeah.
there was nothing that going on. It was just he felt a little out of place.
I will agree there. Yeah.
Especially when all the marketing clearly focuses on just Blunt and
Johnson.
Johnson. Obviously, all the
Mhm.
characterization focuses on them because Disney doesn't give enough of a fuck to give their gay character enough character.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no shit. You know, don't wanna upset the
Yeah,
the,
but, like,
boys over
you
there.
know,
Yeah.
the way they have him go on this entire journey, they could have just given him more character, like just character.
Just a little bit,
Literally
you know, aside from
anything.
just that one line that, you know, can be interpreted in many different ways, but I'm pretty sure is.
Yeah, but I'm not even like talking about that. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
what his motivations are on this whole trip because he really didn't have any.
Well, the only, I remember what he said. He
Well,
was
I'm
just,
just trying
it
to-
was basically, it was tied to that one thing. He was basically saying, like, you know, like, she
She
stood
stood
by
up,
me after
yeah.
everything, and, you know, I would follow her, and basically.
So the
Even though he was
message-
bitching the entire
so the
time.
message is that when you have a straight ally, you should follow them to the ends of the earth.
Yep, yeah, that's that. You know, I would follow you to the end of the earth.
Thank you.
know, how about that? You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, let's go to a fucking like tree in the Amazon. Which, by the way, I think every time I was watching this movie, I was like, how much of that forest do you think has been fucking like destroyed now by like corporations? Like,
That's why they're recreating it. At CGI.
yeah, I know. That's why they need CGI for it. I was like, oh, fuck, it's all gone. What happened to our world, man? God damn.
Yeah, that's
You
actually
know-
that might legitimately be a reason why they couldn't fly to like
Yeah,
place.
there's just not
'cause
enough
it's hard-
left.
It's
like,
harder to find, and they're probably
yeah.
fuck.
And that's like
That's
low-key
dark
kind of
now that I think
depressing.
of
Like,
it.
you know,
That's
it's our
depressing,
world's
yeah.
getting, you know, it's getting bad when our world, like, when like we need to just CGI a jungle because there's no jungle on the
Yeah,
planet we can
like-
use.
I really want them to explain why they said CGI to jungle when there should be some jungles around.
Yeah, I mean, like you got Hawaii, you've got fucking like there's some jungle there. I mean,
Yeah,
like
and they've made movies in actual
Yeah.
like jungle areas before, like Kong Skull Island is a good
yeah, and
example
even
of that.
fucking like Dwayne Johnson's other film sequels. You know, I mean, yeah, they
Yeah.
were shot on location in Hawaii, so like I don't know why the hell they couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know why they went
Yeah.
to all this trouble to make, because like, yeah, like, and the result is that it's like when there's that much CGI, I just feel
Yeah.
like depending on the number of artists you have, it's just like it's too much, you know, and
Yeah.
and it's like, or and it's like you know you can only get so many good art. Like when you have that many artists, clearly, because they obviously had to hire a fuck ton to like make all this shit. Some things are gonna be bad, kind of bad, and clearly the the Jaguar was trash. Like for trying to if it was trying to look realistic, which I feel like it low key wasn't, but at the same time it's like this
Yeah.
budget, I don't know. Emily Blunt is definitely a better actor than The Rock. But you know what? The Rock-
Really? I had no
Yeah,
idea.
I know it's insane, but Rock,
Yeah.
you know, The Rock definitely does a good enough job to fit the role. It feels like it was written enough for him.
Yeah.
You know, even the dad jokes worked enough for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, like you know, I mean, yeah. I guess I can't fault it too much. I mean, he's The Rock. He was pretty charismatic throughout the film. I don't know. I wish like I hope one day you know he
I
actually
can't
does.
believe they shot part of this on IMAX as well. This is technically, besides the Suicide Squad, the IMAX. Actually, I think technically this is more an IMAX event than Suicide Squad because I think they shot part of this on IMAX versus I don't know if they shot any of the Suicide Squad on IMAX, but it'll be shown in IMAX.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure because they put this. I wish they would have put something like the Green Knight in IMAX rather than this shit, but they didn't. But what you gonna do when this movie clearly made a lot more money? But I mean, it should have gone Ultra 80 AVX. It made more. I don't know. I think sometime I don't know. Now that I'm into like seeing stuff at movie theaters, I realize they're also fucking dumbass. But before we'll talk maybe a little more about that. But first, let's just get scores out of the way. What do you want to give this?
It's like a 4.5.
It's a 4. I actually, honestly, Jesse Plemons carries this whole movie to a 6. Yeah,
A 6?
6.
Oh
Look,
my god.
It actually kind of knows it's dumb. That's the impression. That's the experience I had.
I don't think it excuses
And there was like
how dumb it
writing
is,
and
though.
story.
Ugh.
Look, this is there was some semblance of writing. And it's like, and it was fun.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. I know. It's just you know me. I can appreciate a dumb movie better than anyone. I
Yeah,
still like some of the
I don't
Transformers movies. Okay, but like
this was
I don't
the
know.
dumb movie for me. I think. I don't know. This
Well,
was
God damn it.
This was the Disney product for me.
you know what? Fine. You know I'll let you have this one. Everybody needs their own dumb movie. You know that's fine. I'll
This
give
was
you
mine. Jesse Plemons is a big part of it. Don't worry. And also, I didn't care too much about the CGI looking like shit because I thought that was part of the point. But now, and honestly, that's still the experience I had. So I'm not gonna downgrade it based on now that I know that they might have just fucked up. It worked for me, man.
that. Yeah. All right. Fine. I'll let you have this.
Yeah. Let's quickly go through some. I don't know if you've seen because I know you've been kind of busy.
Yeah,
as
I've
you
only
said,
really
you've been
seen
knocked
one
out.
other film besides like the 2 that we've watched, and that was like last night around like 1 a.m. I went over to this person's house. We were just chilling for a bit, and we watched Friends with Benefits, which is something I've seen before. I think it's like what? Look, let me tell you about this movie, okay? What?
Okay. Nah, bro. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
I like a good rom com every now and again, okay? Sue me.
a good rom com. A good.
Okay, well, good.
A rom com.
It's part of the. It's part of the.
Let's
yeah,
take
that's what
out
I
the
mean.
good in that sentence. Let's say a rom com.
I mean, I don't know. Look. Hear me out. Our Friends with Benefits isn't actually that bad. Okay, I've definitely seen worse. Okay, you know, it's
We've seen a
like
fucking
kinda-
California Christmas. That statement doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, okay, but still, all right, what I'm saying is like I think it's a solid film. I think it pokes fun at like some of the tropes of romantic comedies pretty like heavily. It also has Woody Harrelson playing this just over the top, oversexed gay man, which is just glorious in every way. It's just trust me, like it's fucking it's such a strange movie. But then by the end of it, it gets kind of cliche, and I'm like, yeah, you're poking fun of it, but like you just did the same thing. So I mean, it's not all good, but it's relatively
Yeah.
relatively all right.
I
I had a
like
fun time with it.
romance as a genre, I'd say, but I don't
Yeah.
like rom-coms. Rom-coms have like a cap, in my opinion. They
Yeah.
always cap. Like romances, often like La La Land and like the Before trilogy, they're actually
Yeah.
exploring something beyond just will these two get together.
Yeah, exactly.
Rom-coms are always about will these two get
Yeah,
together.
no, that's
and
fair,
I
it's
feel like
fair.
that caps all of them.
But look, if you ever want to see like Woody Harrelson just acting super gay, watch this movie.
I could just
okay?
watch Magic Mike to just watch the male strippers. I don't know.
But that's not Woody Harrelson.
I know that's not Woody
That's his
Harrelson.
buddy Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, sure. I'm
Just
not
saying,
gonna watch.
man. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying I'm probably never gonna watch it.
No, I'm not expecting you to.
And I
I'm just
know.
saying.
I know.
That's all. Yeah.
I'll keep
That's
it in
cool.
mind though.
That's the only other thing I've watched this week, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I watched
Alright,
Gunpowder
okay.
Milkshake. Came out
Oh
on
yeah,
Netflix.
I saw that was out on Netflix. Isn't any good? I was thinking about
It's
seeing that.
okay. It's pretty.
What the
okay.
hell's it even about?
It's about an assassin, and she's a girl, and it's
Is
there's
that
a
Foxy
bunch.
Ghost?
She works for a bunch of guys. It's clearly
Ooh.
guys, and she
Daring.
yeah, and she assassinates people for them, but then she she assassinates someone who was important to another group,
Yeah.
and so they get permission to go after her, and then she kills them all with the help of her mom, who's also an assassin, and her mom's friends, who she kind of met randomly, who are also assassins. Those are played by Michelle Yeoh and Angela Bassett, and I only stayed for Michelle Yeoh. That's it.
Okay, but
It's
who's
like
her mom?
I don't
Because
know.
I know the girl's played by Karen Gillan.
Yeah. I do not remember. There's also there's a daughter character. Like the guy she kills, his daughter gets involved because now she's an orphan, and she
Oof.
takes her and she was in Bad Little Lies.
Big Little Lies.
Big
man?
Little Lies.
Yeah.
The series.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't a big character because she was just one of the daughters, and it's not
Yeah.
about them, obviously.
Yeah.
If I could get, it was made. Honestly, it's a little weird that this movie clearly all about girl power, which is made by a guy. But, I mean,
Hey, I mean,
I don't know if that gives it less credit. It just felt.
No, I don't think it does. I mean, like, I think that, I think we're all allowed to make whatever the hell we want to make,
Yeah.
unless, like, but, yeah. I think there's nothing wrong with the guy, like, showing some love for the ladies. I think
It's fine.
that's totally
I just
fine.
feel like it was committing so hard to the feminist part that it felt a little weird to all of a sudden have the director.
Okay,
Like,
well,
when you
yeah, well,
commit
see,
that
that's
hard.
where it can get a little bit annoying, like, you don't want it to be, like, too on the nose, right?
Yeah.
So,
Lena Headey. Headey?
I think it's Lena Headey.
Lena
Oh,
Headey.
yeah.
She's in 300, Dread, and The Purge.
And
All
also,
of
hey,
which
Game of
have you-
Thrones.
I'm assuming,
Game of Thrones, dude.
Bro, I haven't seen Game of Thrones, fam.
I know, but I think she's Melisandre or whatever her name is. Fuck, I haven't even seen the show either, but
I rewatched The Lighthouse, and I thought it was still very good.
Awesome.
Some of the greatest cinematography. Willem Dafoe's amazing. Very cool.
Yeah.
I give it 9 out of 10. I gave Gunpowder Milkshake a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
The Grey Knight I saw in theaters, and it was very cool. It was also quite confusing. I think I understand it a little more. I did some reading. I do want to see it again, but I don't want to pay full price, so I'm trying to go on a Tuesday sometime, because that's when theaters offer cheaper prices. But it was pretty, it was pretty good. I think it was very well shot, very well, the production design, costumes was all great.
Yeah.
The acting's all very good. The story's interesting for the most part. I think some scenes are a little long. It definitely isn't a very forward narrative. It's kind of like an adventure, but the parts of the adventure that happen are very confusing, I'd say.
Yeah.
You're not sure what their point is. And it's also a little hard to understand them with the accents. But I don't know, that might just be me. I know it's a couple other people, but it's really good though. My favorite David Lowery film, 8 out of 10. I gave it. Very good.
Awesome.
Shame. I also saw from Steve McQueen, 2011 film with Michael Fassbender and Carey Mulligan. It's about a sex addict. It's definitely sexual. There's you see his peen. See Michael Fassbender's peen.
Did you just say? Oh my god.
Yeah.
His peen.
Peen. Yeah. I don't know.
His
It's very
peen, yeah.
intense, very emotional movie. Very well shot. Pretty sinister screenplay, but it was a good movie. It's really going. It had balls, literally. Yeah, it's a good. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's a very good movie. Definitely
Alright.
worth a watch. It's definitely a challenging one though. Yeah, no, I do want. I like theaters. What I want to say real quick. Other than the fact I feel like I feel like they should be doing, for one, like something like the Green Knight. I think they should have more like confidence in, because like the Green Knight actually has people filling the seats for it versus like other things that are getting the same amount of theater attention.
Yeah.
And it made Old was in like 4 theaters. It was in the Ultra AVX theater. It's gonna make the same amount of money as the Green Knight. So like things like that just kind of annoy me. It's like, why don't you also, at least, even if you're not gonna show it in Ultra AVX over Old, which I get enough, like show it in a couple other theaters.
Yeah.
Like 1 or 2. And also I think they should do more showings of just other films randomly, especially Cineplex, but also I really like film.ca. I think they're a really nice little not chain, but I think they should be showing, like, for one, they didn't show Old, which was a little weird. I don't know. And now, only now they're showing In the Heights, which is a little weird considering how
Why now? What the fuck? Because, In the Heights actually was a bit box office, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Even
And
with
it's
the great reviews and good, fan
Yeah,
reception.
so it just feels a little weird to bring it out now. I think they should do more showings of just other really, classics and, other stuff like that. I don't think they do that enough. I looked today, they're doing, I guess just for the holiday, they're doing a 6 p.m. showing of Back to the Future at Cineplex. It's completely sold out. So I'm like, I don't know why don't you do that with a couple other films sometimes?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, because they have limited access to, copies or something, because I know for private movie nights it's pretty limited selection. It really feels like it's catering towards a kid's birthday party, because it's things like Trolls and fucking Sing and all that shit, and the only more mature films even are not Jaws, Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, which are still kids movies. It's I don't know why you don't offer something like 2001 or other stuff like that a little more. I don't know, I just think they should do that.
What was that?
I'm getting a call. I can take it in a second. Anyways, we can probably just finish this up, right?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Next episode, I think we're both gonna see the Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
so
I will
we'll do that.
definitely I gotta try and book ahead and see if I can I gotta plot out some
Yeah.
because that's actually something I've been actually want. It's been getting great reviews so far.
Been getting
Actually,
pretty good reviews.
it's
I'm
like
a
95.
I gotta say, I'm a little worried about the Zack Snyder, the Snyder Cut effect, because I'm saying I don't know how many of these people have seen the older one, but I'm just saying that, yeah, it could be boosted because it's a remake. Also, Vivo, will be doing.
Wait, this
Vivo.
it's a remake.
Yeah, well, technically, because the old Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, but that's not. It's not a continuation.
It's not a continuation, I'm pretty sure. I'm
Damn.
pretty sure it's not a continuation.
Bro, the fucking. I'm sorry, yeah, the DCEU is such a fucking
Yeah,
joke at this
it is.
point. Oh my god, that is
I know.
hilarious. Oh, you guys gotta.
and-
You gotta
yeah,
go?
I gotta
I'll
go.
just wait then.
Yeah, so Vivo,
Yeah.
we're also doing, and then we're gonna do a film that my friend Colin is gonna pick, and he's coming on
Yep.
next week. Anyways, I kind of gotta wrap this up.
Yep.
This is GBD. No, my goodness. I'm so.
This is you. You've
Yeah,
been watching the
Dead
Dead
Film
Film Critics
Critics
Society.
Society.
Thank you for watching. Please
Yeah,
like
we're
and
here, and
subscribe.
Manifest is Queer. See you next time.
Yep. Bye bye.